The breakfasts you're used to could be linked to cancer. Which breakfast foods are particularly favored by cancerous conditions? And what's important to know before it's too late? Cancer doesn't arise overnight. It's not just a random occurrence. Often, it's the result of slow and hidden processes within the body that can develop over months or even years. What's most concerning is that some of the familiar foods we start our day with might be silently fueling these processes. While you're having your usual breakfast, potentially harmful cells could be receiving exactly the nutrients that promote their growth. If you truly want to protect yourself, it's essential to start not with pills, but with a careful look at what's on your breakfast plate. Ruth, 72 years old. For many years, her mornings began just like those of many of us. A familiar breakfast, a set routine, without much thought. But over time, her body started to experience disruptions. Digestive issues arose. She felt more tired, and she began to experience pain she had never felt before. When the test results came in, the diagnosis was one she wasn't prepared for. The doctor delivered the news gently and with compassion. Nutrition doesn't solve everything, but it changes a lot. The first step was breakfast. 6 months passed, and each morning transformed, becoming lighter, quieter, and more mindful. Most importantly, her body began to respond in kind, offering calmness, clarity, and renewed strength. The foods with a high glycemic index that we'll discuss in this video may seem harmless at first glance. They're sweet, convenient, and familiar. However, they are packed with hidden sugars, trans fats, and preservatives. All of this creates an acidic, aggressive environment in the body where inflammation easily arises, metabolism is disrupted, and cellular aging accelerates. The most concerning aspect is that it is in such an internal environment that cancer cells find it easiest to survive, multiply, and grow. Cancer cells, like any other cells, need energy, and they particularly thrive on fast, easily digestible foods that we are familiar with. When a diet lacks fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants, the immune system weakens, inflammation increases, and aggressive cells gain an advantage. Breakfast is not just the first meal of the day, it's the setting for everything that follows. It either supports your body's defenses or undermines them. But there's no need to worry, because the good news is that you can make a change starting tomorrow morning. You don't have to go on a diet. Simply replacing 23 habits can make your breakfast work for you instead of against you. Let's explore together which foods can reduce inflammation and nourish your cells with health, rather than fear. It's delicious, simple, and it's a path to protection that starts with the first spoonful. Rate this video from 1 to 10 and share it with your loved ones. They will thank you for it. 3 types of breakfast that could encourage cancer cell growth. We often think that if a food is familiar and comfortable, it must be safe. But therein lies the real danger. Breakfasts we've considered normal for years may subtly create conditions in our bodies that promote chronic inflammation, paving the way for more serious issues. What's the main threat? Particularly hazardous are combinations that include fast carbohydrates, hidden sugars, trans fats, and nearly complete absence of fiber. This mix triggers a sharp spike in blood sugar, overloads the insulin system, increases internal acidity, and weakens cellular defenses. It is often from what seems like an innocuous breakfast that the disruption begins, remaining unnoticed for a long time. So, what do cancer cells feed on? Unlike healthy cells, which need oxygen for energy, cancer cells take a different route. They thrive on glucose. The more sugar enters the body, especially in processed and easily digestible forms, the easier it is for these cells to divide and grow. It's particularly important to remember that morning is a time when metabolism is especially sensitive and hormonal processes kick off the day. If the body receives a dose of fast carbohydrates, sugars, and artificial additives first thing in the morning, a whole cascade of reactions occurs. Blood sugar levels spike sharply, insulin is released in excess, an inflammatory environment is created, immune defenses temporarily weaken, and internal conditions become more acidic. This state hinders the body's ability to recognize and suppress mutated cells in a timely manner. This doesn't mean that one toast with jam causes disease. But what should be understood? Over the years, a breakfast consisting of white bread, sausage, and sweet yogurt can lay the groundwork for chronic processes that allow tumors to develop. Here's one example. William, 70, has always eaten the same way. Bread with processed cheese, coffee with sugar, and yogurt for gut health. A light, quick breakfast. But in the last couple of years, he's experienced fatigue, gastrointestinal issues, and weight loss. After tests, there was suspicion of a tumor in his intestine. After surgery, the doctor explained that while diet wasn't the sole cause, it created an environment where healthy cells lost their strength, allowing weaker ones to thrive. Now, William starts his mornings with oatmeal, fresh berries, and warm ginger tea. "I feel like I'm giving my body a chance," he says. Here are 3 of the most common unhealthy breakfast options and what you can replace them with. Replace white toast with jam and coffee with sugar with oatmeal topped with berries and a spoonful of honey, along with herbal tea with lemon. Swap out yogurt with fruits and boxed muesli for natural yogurt with a spoonful of seeds and a fresh fruit. Instead of processed meats, cheese, and white bread, which contain trans fats, preservatives, salt, and chemicals, opt for a boiled egg, a salad of greens drizzled with olive oil, and whole grain bread. Let your breakfast be not just light, but nourishing, anti-inflammatory, and supportive. You don't need to be perfect, just be mindful. Even one small change each day is a step toward helping your body feel safe. Here are the breakfasts that protect us. Not all breakfasts are created equal. Some can trigger inflammation, overload the pancreas, and weaken the immune system. Others act like a shield. They reduce oxidative stress, nourish the cells, and create an environment that prevents degeneration. These aren't special diets or exotic foods. They are simple, wholesome dishes accessible to everyone. The key is the right combination and understanding why you're eating what you eat. Breakfast can be your daily investment in protecting your body, especially against chronic processes, including cancer. What's particularly important about these breakfasts is that fiber, found in oatmeal, seeds, and fruits, nourishes gut microbiota and reduces inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids, from nuts, flax seeds, and walnuts, help combat cellular stress. Natural anti-inflammatory substances include ginger, turmeric, berries, and greens. Natural probiotics can be found in plain yogurt and fermented foods. Listen to what happened to Marina. At 67 years old, after undergoing surgery to remove a tumor, she decided to completely change her diet. Mornings became her internal pharmacy. Instead of sandwiches, she opted for oatmeal with blueberries and walnuts. Instead of coffee, she switched to ginger tea. 3 months later, she said, "I wake up and feel like I'm giving my body not just food, but strength." Doctors noted a decrease in inflammatory markers, normalized blood pressure, and improved sleep. It all started with a simple change in breakfast. Here are some examples of protective breakfasts that really work. Oatmeal topped with berries, walnuts, and a pinch of cinnamon reduces inflammation and stabilizes blood sugar levels. Whole grain toast with avocado and a poached egg is packed with healthy fats, protein, and B vitamins. A smoothie made with spinach, banana, water, and a spoonful of chia seeds is rich in fiber, antioxidants, and magnesium. Natural yogurt, plus. 1 grated apple, plus. Flax seeds supports gut health and improves digestion. Ginger tea with lemon and a spoon of honey kickstarts a gentle detox, thin the blood, and relieve morning tension. It's important not just to eliminate the harmful, but also to add the beneficial. And this shouldn't be a once-a-week effort. It should be done calmly and consistently, day in and day out. It's this regularity that gives the body the resources not just to survive, but to recover and defend itself. How do many of us start our mornings? Most often with whatever is handy. A cup of sweet coffee, a sandwich with cold cuts, a yogurt dessert, a hastily grabbed piece of fruit, or a pastry. All of this seems trivial, just a habit, something insignificant. But therein lies a quiet yet concerning paradox. What we put into our bodies first thing in the morning can either initiate a gentle recovery process or lead to unnoticed deterioration. This is especially relevant when the stomach is empty, and as we age, our bodies become increasingly sensitive. For those prone to inflammation, imbalances in acidity, and particularly with a heightened awareness of cancer risks, these seemingly small morning choices can accumulate and eventually have a far from harmless impact. Listen to what state your body is in the morning. In the morning, the body is in a state of cleansing after the night. Blood is thicker, the stomach is empty, and the immune system is vulnerable. This means that everything we eat first thing in the morning reacts immediately with our internal environment. Here are some foods that are especially undesirable on an empty stomach. Fruits with a high glycemic index, such as bananas, grapes, and sweet juices, can sharply raise blood sugar levels, triggering an insulin response and an acidic reaction. Sweet coffee or tea with milk and sugar on an empty stomach irritates the mucous membranes, disrupts acidity, and increases inflammation. Yogurts with additives can lead to fermentation on an empty stomach, especially if your gut flora is weak. Baked goods cause a spike in sugar levels, overwhelm the pancreas, and don't provide the necessary energy. The body perceives this as irritation rather than nourishment. The response is inflammation, acidity, morning fatigue, dizziness, and in the long run, a decrease in cellular protection. This was brilliantly understood by the hero of the following story. Thomas, 71 years old, believed he was eating healthily, a banana, yogurt, and coffee with milk for breakfast. However, complaints of heartburn, fluctuating blood pressure, and a strange heaviness started to arise more frequently. After consulting with a nutritionist, he decided to replace his breakfast with warm lemon water, followed by oatmeal with berries and peppermint tea. Within a week, his heartburn disappeared, morning sluggishness faded away, and after a month he found it easier to wake up and even reduced some of his medications. Now I understand. Not everything that's healthy is beneficial in the morning, he said. How should you start your morning? To ensure your morning truly energizes your body rather than causing hidden stress, begin with gentle, warm, neutral, or alkaline foods that soothe the digestive system, nourish your cells, and prevent insulin spikes. Warm water with lemon, not acidic, diluted, kickstarts digestion and gently alkalizes the body. Oatmeal or buckwheat with berries, unsweetened, topped with a spoonful of flax seeds or nuts. Poached egg plus herbs plus whole grain toast. Herbal tea, mint, chamomile, rosehip. Water-based smoothie with greens, apple, and avocado. Natural yogurt plus a bit of honey cooks a third of an apple, 30 minutes after water. Attention! Important. Take your time. Allow your body to understand that it's not in a hurry or under stress. A body that has received the right breakfast will not crave sweets, caffeine, or snacks an hour later. It will be grateful, and you will feel that. Now let's talk about foods that help reduce existing inflammation. Cancer does not develop overnight. Its roots lie in persistent, unnoticed inflammation at the cellular level, which can last for years. Stress, poor sleep, sedentary lifestyle, and especially a diet filled with sugar, trans fats, and chemical additives create an environment that makes it increasingly difficult for healthy cells to thrive. But there's another side to consider. What is it, you might ask? Nature has provided us with foods that reduce inflammation, nourish our cells from within, support DNA, and activate regeneration processes. These are not medications. They are foods that can heal when consumed regularly, with understanding and respect. Chronic inflammation is not pain, fever, or a clear disease. It's a state where the immune system is slightly irritated and cells are under constant oxidative stress. In this environment, mutations are more likely to occur, and the internal mechanisms for monitoring damage function less effectively. Now for the good news, anti-inflammatory foods can lower levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation, help the immune system calm down without becoming weaker, nourish mitochondria, the energy powerhouses of our cells, and promote tissue repair and cell renewal. Here are some key foods to include in your diet. I recommend jotting them down. Leafy greens like spinach, arugula, and parsley, cold-pressed olive oil, garlic and onions, which are natural antiseptics and immune regulators, berries such as blueberries, raspberries, and cranberries, which are rich in antioxidants and anthocyanins, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, as a source of omega-3, nuts and seeds, especially walnuts, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds, ginger and turmeric, natural inflammation modulators, lemon and warm water for gentle detox and alkalization. Take Emma, for example. At 66, after going through remission from cancer, she lived in constant fear, worried that the illness might return. Her doctor advised her to reconnect with her body. She started small. Warm lemon water in the morning, a green salad for lunch, berries instead of dessert, and turmeric tea at night. After 2 months, her joint pain disappeared, her sleep normalized, and she found new energy. "It's not about perfection," she said with a smile while mixing her vegetables with a spoonful of olive oil. "It's about respecting yourself." For products to truly work for your health, it's important not just what you eat, but how you eat it. Here are some simple recommendations. Make a note of these. Add a handful of greens to every meal. Don't shy away from garlic and onions, especially in your evening dishes. Swap sugary snacks for berries and fruits with a low glycemic index. Instead of frying, opt for steaming, boiling, or baking with olive oil. Include a spoonful of seeds or nuts once a day. Incorporate ginger and turmeric into your tea, porridge, or soups. Treat yourself to simple flavors. Your body loves what it recognizes. And most importantly, don't do it all at once. Start with one new food a day, added with love. Let your body feel that you're on its side, and it will begin to respond, slowly but surely. Do you know what the best friend of cancer is? Sugar. Sugar is one of the most insidious components of our diet. It's added to almost every processed food, and its taste is familiar and even comforting. However, it's sugar that creates the perfect conditions for inflammation, mutations, and the growth of malignant cells. Its impact is particularly dangerous in the morning and when combined with fats. For the body, especially after the age of 60, when metabolism slows down, sugar becomes not just a sweet treat, but a risk factor that triggers destructive processes at the cellular level every day. Cancer cells are particularly adept at absorbing glucose, which serves as their primary energy source. Unlike healthy cells, they can even survive in oxygen-deficient environments as long as sugar is available. Here's what happens in the body. A sharp spike in blood sugar levels after consuming sugary foods triggers the release of insulin, which stimulates growth. Elevated sugar levels contribute to inflammation of blood vessels and disrupt hormone balance. Glucose and fructose are involved in glycation, a process that damages proteins and alters tissue structure. The acidity of the internal environment increases, creating a more favorable setting for mutated cells to thrive. Constant fluctuations in blood sugar deplete the pancreas and can lead to feelings of anxiety, fatigue, and a weakened immune system. Listen to what one woman went through. Sylvia, 73, struggled for many years to give up her morning pastry and coffee with sugar. Even after being diagnosed with a precancerous condition, she continued eating as she always had, saying, "I can't wake up without something sweet." It wasn't until her granddaughter showed her how sugar affects cells and suggested replacing desserts with baked apples sprinkled with cinnamon and honey that she decided to give it a try. Within a month, her chronic headaches vanished, her joint pain diminished, and her blood pressure stabilized. "I no longer feel dependent," she said, holding a cup of ginger tea. Completely giving up sugar is no easy task. However, reducing and replacing it is already a significant step towards better health. Here are some simple steps to get started. Replace sugar in your tea or coffee with a spoonful of honey, or try to cut it out entirely. Often, it's just a matter of habit. Use cinnamon. It lowers blood sugar levels and enhances flavor. Choose whole fruits over juices, which contain fiber and have a lower glycemic index. Make homemade desserts like baked apples, dates stuffed with nuts, or plant-based milk puddings. Cut back on hidden sugars. Check the labels for ingredients like glucose syrup, maltodextrin, and sucrose. These are all types of sugar. Eat more protein and fiber in the morning to reduce cravings for sweets. Remember, cravings for sugar are not a sign of weak character. They are signals from your body indicating a lack of energy, care, and stability. The answer lies not in one more cookie, but in offering yourself deep, gentle support. How else can we help the body prevent a recurrence? Listen carefully. After the age of 60, the body is not the same as it once was. Recovery processes slow down, cell sensitivity increases, immunity weakens, and metabolism requires more support. If someone has ever faced cancer, even after remission or tumor removal, the body remains vulnerable. However, there is good news. Through nutrition, we can not only avoid harm, but actually reduce the likelihood of recurrence, strengthen cells, boost immunity, and enhance the body's resilience. Even after successful cancer treatment, the disease can return. Not due to bad luck, but because of the internal conditions that allowed it to develop in the first place. The main goal after 60 is to avoid creating an environment where cancer cells can reactivate. Nutrition is the most straightforward and daily way to achieve protection. What helps? eliminating chronic inflammation, maintaining an alkaline balance, ensuring stable blood sugar and insulin levels, protecting mitochondria, the cell's energy factories, supporting gut microbiota, the center of immune regulation, reducing oxidative stress, free radicals. The key is not perfect nutrition, but consistent nutrition that is rich in essential nutrients and free from overload. This is a lesson our next hero has learned for life. Irene, 74, underwent surgery to remove a tumor from her intestine. After her treatment, she felt exhausted and very vulnerable. Instead of strict diets, she chose a path of steady, sensible eating. For breakfast, she has oatmeal with blueberries and flax seeds. Lunch consists of vegetable soup, steamed fish, and a salad drizzled with olive oil. Dinner is warm, braised vegetables, and tea with turmeric. 6 months later, she had her blood tested. Her inflammation markers improved, hemoglobin levels rose, and her digestive system stabilized. For the first time, I felt that nutrition isn't just about food, it's a part of my recovery, she said, carefully serving herself a green salad for lunch. Here are the key foods and approaches that are particularly beneficial after the age of 60 and for those at risk of recurrence of illness. Make a note so you don't forget. Include more warm foods like porridge, soups, and stewed vegetables. Gentle warmth aids digestion and soothes the mucous membranes. Incorporate vegetables into every meal, especially green, orange, and cruciferous ones, like broccoli and cauliflower. Include fermented foods such as sauerkraut, unsweetened natural yogurt, and tempeh. Plant-based fats like avocado, olive oil, and flaxseed oil. Lemon, ginger, turmeric, and garlic for gentle daily detoxification and anti-inflammatory effects. Berries and green tea for antioxidants and mitochondrial support. Limit sugar, red meat, and products with unclear ingredients. It's important to note, eating well after 60 is not a punishment. It's a resource. It's an opportunity to care for your body every day, allowing it to serve you gently, consistently, and without worry. We've come a long way together. From anxious breakfasts that we unknowingly ate for years, to conscious, nourishing choices that do more than just satisfy hunger. They protect us at a cellular level. We've learned that inflammation isn't a loud process, but rather a quiet, underlying threat. That sugar is not just a sweet treat, but fuel for disease. Every first sip, every bite sends a message to the body. I care for you, or I overlook you. And most importantly, we've seen how even the simplest actions, warm water, a spoonful of seeds, berries, greens, can spark significant change. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Just pick one habit and start with it. Eliminate sugar from your morning tea, swap a pastry for oatmeal, add a handful of greens to your lunch, replace your evening snack with an apple and nuts, or simply drink lemon water first thing in the morning instead of nothing at all. The body is very sensitive. It responds to even the smallest acts of care. And every step like this isn't just about food. It's about the internal feeling of, I matter to myself. You might say, I'm too old for this. I've been eating differently for so many years. I can't give up sweets. But you're already reading this text. You've started to think about it. That means you've already begun. Nutrition isn't about strict rules. It's about making choices. And even if you don't succeed the first time, you might on the second, or the fifth. What's important isn't perfection. It's the intention behind your choices. Don't let anyone scare you with words like cancer, inflammation, or sugar, because now you know what to do, how to take care of yourself, and where to start. Start tomorrow. Not on Monday. Not on the 1st of the month. Just tomorrow morning. Drink some water. Make one mindful choice. And congratulate yourself for choosing health over habit. If this message has empowered you, pass it on. Share it with someone who still drinks coffee with sugar on an empty stomach, who thinks, it's too late for me, or who is simply tired. Let them know. Tomorrow morning can mark the beginning of a different life. One that's calm, mindful, and fulfilling. Imagine, it's morning. You wake up feeling light. No worries, no heavy thoughts weighing you down. Your body feels relaxed. Your mind is clear. In the kitchen, familiar routines unfold. The kettle, lemon, fresh herbs on a plate. You're not chasing youth. You live in harmony with who you are. And in this morning, there's no fear. There's only you, self-care, and the feeling. I choose to live with love for myself, starting with the very first spoonful.